Here's a quick grab sign review. When we normally sign our documents, our workflow is that we can use DocuSign for free, and but when we have documents, that's for our internal CRM. But when we have documents that we haven't merged ourselves through Word, which is manual, and say a lender wants to, we want the lender documents for the customer and they have to be signed, we have to have an audit trail, and right now we can't do that. So GrabSign does this, and it does it very well. It does it, I think, better than DocuSign. The other problem we have is once we have two applicants, sometimes the emails don't go through. With multiple problems with them as well. This also solves that problem. So I'll show you how to do this. So first of all, I'll show you how to, when you first come into it, you set up your own brand. And to do that, you can upload your logo here and save it. You can have a company email, redirect URL. You can change this so that the text is whatever you want it to say, an email title, an email body, all this sort of thing. Okay, and you can set it as a default. You can share it with a team if you've got a team. For us, I think we each are individually having our own ones so that we can't see each other's contracts for security. Okay, so we update that. Okay. And then what we do is we go into the settings, I think it's here, admin settings, and then we go to advanced, and then what we do is you can set the notifications here, so you can get a notification when a document's viewed, signed or declined. We email PDF copies when a signature request, when it's completed, we get a copy and the signers also get a copy. The preferences for the type of signature is drawn, type or uploaded. Merge signed documents, to enable that, what that is that's the audit report along with the PDF of the signed document merged together, which we don't want. We want them separate because we have to send them separately. Branding, yep, we've got branding. You can have an expiration of 90 days or however many days you want to have, and days to warn signers before expiration, because you don't want to have just contracts out there not signed. Reminders, you can also enable automatic reminders 3 days before the first one and then 2 days every day thereafter. You can change that to whatever you want. You can enable signer access code, so they have to get an access code. You can enable SNS and electronic signature disclosure as well is enabled. Okay, so you can see, I'll show you what that is when we get to it. So you can see they're the basic settings. Then what we go is we go to the dashboard, and you can do a new document here or here, doesn't make any difference, so I'll just do it here. And then we upload a new document. You can use, just before I do that, sorry, I'll show you, you can do PDFs, docs, so you can do Word documents or PDFs. You don't have to save a Word document again as a PDF. So I'll just add this one in here. This is our credit guide that we'd normally use. This isn't the one we'd actually use, but okay, so now you put the first person in, and then you add a second person, and you can control the order, so that by just moving that person there if you want to. Now the other thing is you can sign by invite. They receive a copy where they don't sign it, or an in-person sign, which means if you're with a client and you don't want to have to email it to them, you're going to go see them anyway to collect other documents off it, you can do it in person. And the advantage of that is you don't have to then scan that after they sign the forms, scan them back in and all that sort of thing, so it gets done more quickly. All right, so the next thing is this. So you create the document. Then what you do is, okay, so the first person is the person whose name's up here for now. Then we go to the part where you'd sign, you put the person's name in there. Okay, and then signature. Whoops. Doesn't matter if you put in the wrong spot because they're much easier to move actually once you put them in anyway. Whoops. And then the date signed. Okay, and then you go to the second person and you put in their name. You can put in whatever you want, but it's just, and you can see the name that's going to be there is the name that you've just put in. The date signed is just here. So that's whatever day they sign it on. Whoops. Not very good at putting these in. And then this one. Okay, so now we've got a signature each. Okay, so I'll put that up there. All right, and then go next. You can also change the text size and the font. Then you can change the message here if you want to. You can select the brand. I'll select Model Mortgages that we built earlier. Now a lot of this stuff is again in the settings. These are the ones that we put in the settings, but you can change it on any one. You can do it auto send, or you can have it send on a particular date in the future. You can have it so that the customers are allowed to add new fields. I'm going to turn that off for now. This reminds you of who the signers are, the people that you're getting to sign it. Then you can either share it via link, or if you press that, it generates a link that you can just email. Or what I like to do is I just like to send it like that. And then we can check the audit trail. So now that's been sent both to myself. Now I'll go to the emails and I'll see if I can find it. Okay, here it is. It's come into my documents. And this is good because that first one is that permission that you could set in the okay. And then it asks me for the second person. Okay, so that's how simple it is. And then you go back into GrabSign again. Whoops. And that's another thing. Remember, it defaulted to those two once it gets signed. Usually you'd only go to one, but I'm signing from both people. Okay, check the audit trail. And now you can see that both people signed. You can review, and there's the audit trail there. Okay. And now what we do is you can view the document you actually signed, which is here. See, and there it is all signed with the dates and the names on it. And then the other thing you can do is you can download the certificate of completion, they call it. We call it the audit trail. So if you do those two things and download, then you'll be able to see them. As well, they also get emailed to you, and because I'm both the customers, so they're the emails to me as the person who owns GrabSigns, and also one that was signed by all participants. So there's the audit trail, and there's the signed document, and we all get a copy of that, the people that sign it, and they were set in the advanced settings, so we all got a copy of that. And we also all got a copy of the audit trail if you want them to have that too.